the two linesmen. In goal for the Montreal Canadiens, his 12th start of the playoffs. He has started all three games against the Bruins, 1.69 goals against average. And at the other end of the ice, Gerry Cheevers, his 9th start in the playoffs. He has started all three games for the Bruins, 2.85. And here for the great play-by-play from the Boston Garden is Fred Cusick.
Peter McNabb at center, John Wensink on the left, and Terry O'Reilly on the right wing for Boston. Mike Milbury and Brad Park on defense. Doug Jarvis at center with Bob Gainey, Réjean Houle with Serge Savard and Larry Robinson. And Park to McNabb, and it's into the Canadian end. That's with Savard. 2 forecheckers, and they move it up the middle. And Jarvis gets it to Houle, off to Gainey. Gainey a shot kicked out by Cheevers. Puck kept in by Jarvis, now tapped to Wensink. Wensink coming out. Gainey after him. A pass over on the right wing side. O'Reilly after it. He's checked, can't get it. Park gambles to keep it in, does. Moves in deep. Park, stick handling it well. Now clears it up. It's blocked. McNabb gets it. Park moves it in deeper. That's with Robinson. Takes a hit from O'Reilly as the puck goes to McNabb. A backhander, a save, Dryden, as that bounced right in. Wensink in on Robinson. They battle in the corner. Wensink had it. O'Reilly gets it to McNabb. A shot. A save, Dryden, as McNabb has 2 shots on net in the opening minute of play. This broadcast authorized by the Boston Bruins Hockey Club. Solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience, any broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Boston Bruins of TV-38 is prohibited. Bill Nyrop has an eye injury. He took that stick of Middleton, and he's out of action, and Bouchard is on defense.
He's out of the hospital, which is good news, Fred. Bill Nyrop may play Sunday night for the Montreal Canadiens. They have added Brian Engblom, who is wearing number 3.
Doak the shot. Scores! Gerry Doak off the faceoff. Drills it by Ken Dryden as Rattel got the draw back to him. And in 59 seconds, the Bruins lead 1-0.
Well, the first goal is always a very big one. Rattel with a faceoff. Dryden never saw this on the way through. Screen into the far corner, and he looked behind him. That was the first time he saw the puck as the Bruins go out in front. 59 seconds of the first period. John Rattel won the faceoff from Jacques Lemaire, and the drive by Gerry Doak went all the way. 1-0 Bruins.
Gerry Doak the score after 59 seconds of play. And now Lapointe flicks it into the Boston end. Back for it. Doak to Middleton. He can't move it out. Lemaire presses him. Rattel trying to work it out. Checked all the way by Lambert. Cashman back to get it. Cashman going behind the net. Lambert after him. Over to Doak. Doak scored the goal. Rick Smith, the quick clear up. Goes to Cashman. To Rattel, onside. He lost it. Poked away by Lapointe. Covered by Cashman. Bounces to Doak. Doak the score from Jean Rattel. 59 seconds in the first period. And at center ice, Doak with the puck. Over to Rick Smith. Up to Cashman. And he drives it in wide of Dryden. Lapointe around the boards. Doak in on Shutt. Checks him. Bouchard trying to move it out. Checked by Rattel. Doak moves it in deep. But it's knocked out by the Canadiens. And Cornway, Rick Smith, Shutt all going for it. Shutt digs it out. Drops it off from one, and he hit the post. And a quick shot here knocked down by Rick Smith. Off to Middleton. Center ice. Up for Rick Smith. His pass blocked, and he's taken out of the play, and the Canadiens back. Mondu to Lafleur over the line. The shot, save, Cheevers! A big stop by Cheevers as the Bruins got trapped that time. And with the score, Boston 1, Montreal nothing. The 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs continue in just a moment.
Well, it makes for exciting action for the crowd, but Boston cannot afford to open up like this. Here's Guy Lafleur with a drive. Watch Cheevers. This one almost slipped between the pads, but he managed to close them right there just in time. And Mondu had a drive from dead center. He hit the goalpost to the left of Cheevers. But Boston has got to tone this game down a little.
Puck cleared out by Park. Fed back by the Canadiens. Milbury moves it up. Milbury checked by Engblom. Now it goes to to Schmatz, and they say it was gloved. A Bruin to a Bruin, and directed by hand, and Van Hellemond calls a face-off right at the Montreal line. Brian Engblom out of the University of Wisconsin.
Fred, one of the dangers of helter-skelter forechecking in the Canadiens' end is that you're apt to get three forwards trapped. That is not good. They've got to play good forechecking, but it's got to be on the conservative side. They've got to be very careful of those Canadian wingmen. They've got to stay with them.
Robinson from behind his nets, right up the middle, missed by Mondeau, but Cheevers has to play it as Mondeau moves down. Up for Park. He's checked. Now Schmatz trying to move it out. Does. Center ice with Marcotte over the line. But they lost control, and the Canadiens clear it away quickly. Park knocks down Shutt, and Van Hellemond lets it ride. Cheevers handles it off to Park. Ahead to Shepard. Shepard a shot off Brian Engblom. Behind the net, Schmatz in the check. The puck goes to Park. Park cut in front and lost it. The Bruins keep it in. Schmatz hit by Robinson. Robinson breaks it out. Up the left side. Cuts in front. Moves for a shot and can't get it away as Cheevers came out to challenge him. And a wide open game here. Bruins lead 1-0, but that's not the style they want. Lambert back to drive one, just missed. And Marcotte ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly checked by Chartrand. And the play offside at the Boston line. Live from the Boston Garden, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals. Lupien is on defense for Montreal. His first appearance in the series. He's a 6'6", 210-pound defenseman who's had a couple of scraps with O'Reilly and proved to be very, very tough for Terry O'Reilly. Doak's goal, it's 1-0 Boston. Rick Smith clears it in. McNabb, O'Reilly, Jonathan, the Boston line. This is Lupien, O'Reilly in pursuit. Lupien gets it off to Risebrough, but the Bruins check it closely. Now it's back to Lupien. Lupien pokes it in. Cheevers up. Whips it around, not out. Risebrough keeps it in. It's the pass blocked by Doak to O'Reilly. And Lupien hard on O'Reilly. McNabb over the line with Jonathan, 2-on-1. Off to Jonathan in. Back to McNabb, and he missed. The backhander. O'Reilly slams into Lambert, and McNabb keeps it in. His pass blocked by Savard. McNabb keeps it in again to O'Reilly. O'Reilly wheeling. Back for Doak. Shot. Save. Loose. Knocked away. Doak moves in deep. Keeps it in. Takes a hard hit. This is a hitting line on for Montreal. Puck cleared away. Chartrand hit by Rick Smith. Down to the Boston end it goes. Icing. Did you ever see action like this, John?
Well, this is a tremendous first period. We played 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Boston out in front 1-0. Fred, that first goal is very important, but sometimes when you get it early before you get the set style of play. Now, Boston would like to slow this game down, but they've gotten the goal. They smell a little bit of extra incentive. Now they're over-pressing it a little bit. McNabb did not follow through on a great play by Jonathan.
Rattel slides it across in front right off the faceoff. Gainey trying to come out. Cashman after him. Uhl works it away to Jarvis. The shot. Save. Cheevers kicked it out. Short side bid. Cheevers trying to clear. It rolls around for Cashman. Ahead to Rattel. Can't get it. Lapointe flipping it right back in, but Gainey is offside on the play. 5 minutes of Stanley Cup action. Very exciting in every Bruins hockey game. Schlitz Light Beer will name the most valuable player of the game. In the meantime, remember, it took Schlitz to bring the taste to life. Doak from Rattel, 59 seconds. And Boston leads 1-0. Engblom broken up by Middleton to Rattel. Ahead for Middleton. Lapointe chasing him. Middleton moves in, trying to cut in. Scores! Rick Middleton coming out of the corner with a brilliant rush down the left side. And he wheeled in front and beat Dryden. And Rick Middleton makes it 2-0 Boston.
What a great individual effort here. Watch Guy Lapointe now. Middleton getting body position. We talked about it before. Going very low around Dryden, who didn't put the stick out. And he tossed it underneath him. A beautiful play. Now watch the body position of Middleton right here. He starts to lean low. He has the body position on Guy Lapointe. Sensational move, Fred.
Well, Rick Middleton's been doing it. And the Bruins lead 2-0. Marcotte keeps it in and drives, and Dryden drops it off for Robinson. A pass up blocked by Doak. Now the Canadiens work it out. Shot to Lemaire. Over the line. A shot over the net. The rebound, Schmatz. Rattel gets his second assist of the night as he sent Middleton in on the left. Robinson starts it away. Blocked by Doak, center ice. Marcotte. Now to Schmatz. Schmatz over the line. Moves for a shot. Dryden the save. Shepard forechecking. And the puck cleared away at center ice, taken by Rick Smith. Off for Marcotte. Fed in on Dryden. He hangs on. Lafleur knocked down by Marcotte at the line, as Lafleur might have tried to check him. With the score, Boston 2 and Montreal nothing. This is Boston Bruins Stanley Cup hockey.
Well, Sammy Pollock, who has engineered many, many great teams for the Montreal Canadiens, the general manager, a little bit of anguish on his face, but he always sits that way even when his team is ahead.
And he's there with Claude Ruel, assistant coach. Claude Ruel. The Bruins intercept, keep it in. McNabb drops it. O'Reilly with it. Check, pokes it in deeper. As the line is McNabb, O'Reilly, and Jonathan. Lambert trying to come out. Goes to Robinson on the move. Broken up by Park at the line. Park gets control. Keeps it. Has to beware. And finally gets it to O'Reilly. Ahead for Jonathan, too far. And this will be icing. Ruel stands and watches the Bruins practice. Is O'Reilly head-to-head with Risebrough there. A little jam, quickly separated. 13:22 left, first period, 2-0 Boston. The goal, Middleton from Rattel at 5:11. Ruel stands and watches intently the Bruin practice, looking for maybe somebody who might be limping or a sore wrist or something. Cheevers, who takes very little practice, went over and conversed with him and nullified. Gerry, very relaxed, just conversed for most of the Bruins practice, and Ruel could not keep an eye on the Bruins.
Not bad, I'll tell you. That Cheevers thinks of everything.
The draw goes to Cheevers, and he clears it out to Jonathan. Jonathan rushes with McNabb. Clearing in. O'Reilly and Bouchard into the corner. O'Reilly intercepts to McNabb. McNabb free. Wheels in front. Shot. Blocked. O'Reilly. Back to McNabb. A backhander. It is blocked by Lapointe. A big play. And Risebrough back to Cournoyer. Into the corner. Hit by Milbury. Park in there. Jonathan. McNabb back. And McNabb trying to freeze it. Gets it around the boards. And Jonathan works it out. To McNabb with Milbury. And offside. Milbury was in ahead, and he fell down behind the net there. As Mike Milbury was on the move, Boston leads 2-0.
Well, the Bruins on a goal by Doak off the faceoff at 59 seconds. And then a tremendous effort by Rick Middleton. Coming down the left wing side, he cut around Guy Lapointe, who's tough to get around, very mobile. He turned well, Lapointe did, but Middleton just ducked underneath him with a body. And what a sensational move he made on Ken Dryden as he scored his 5th of the playoffs from Jean Rattel at 5:11. It's 2-0 Bruins.
Rattel, Cashman left, Middleton on the right wing. And that's a switch. As Middleton has liked that left wing side, and that's where he scored. Pass up blocked by Middleton. He's right back with Rattel. Rattel over the line, going wide on Engblom. Back to Middleton. Middleton checked by Robinson. Engblom with it. Did not play, but is playing because of Nyrop's eye injury. Out for Gainey to Chartraw. Now Gainey, broken up. Middleton fell down, couldn't keep it inside the line. And Chartraw off to Gainey, he lost it. Middleton to Rattel, broken up. Engblom trying to move, he's checked. Rattel to Rick Smith, into the corner. Engblom and Middleton. And Engblom ties it up. And the face-off to the right of Dryden, 11:58 left in the first period, 2-0 Boston.
Well, this game is far from over with 11:58 left to play in the first period, but right at this moment, Boston's forechecking has disorganized the Canadiens in their own end. Now, they make that beautiful pass up through the center in their own end, up to center ice to those streaking forwards, but the forwards are having to go back deep into their own end to help the defense because the forechecking has been so effective. So they're nullifying that streaking forward by the Canadiens out through the center, at least at this moment.
Middleton a shot off the faceoff as Miller took it. First appearance by Miller between Cashman and Middleton. And Robinson starts it back. Now to Gainey, off wing side, can't move in. Miller coming back. Miller on Savard, broken up on a poke check. Rick Smith flips it in though, and he's in the forecheck. Well, now he moves back as Savard is forechecked by Middleton, and around the boards, Miller keeps it in, loses to Savard. Out to Jarvis, to Gainey, up the left side, and barreling. Doak trying to get back. Knocks him down as he checks him into the boards, and the puck jammed up in the corner. Good defensive play by Doak, and the faceoff might be outside the line.
Well, Bob Gainey, who has been a tremendous skater for the Canadiens in the 2 games in Montreal, a very strong, elusive player who, once he gets on track, is very tough to move off. Doak stayed with him. He had to turn quickly at center ice, went with him. He just managed to tuck the shoulder into the side, right side of Gainey, and knock him down and out of the play. Good play by Doak.
Marcotte is on against Lafleur. Ooh, left wing, Mondu is the center. Lupien flicks it in, back for it, Milbury. Trying to come out, check. 2 checkers in. And he elects for the faceoff, and it will be to the right of Cheevers. Goals by Doak from Rattel after 59 seconds as we look at Scotty Bowman. And here is Lupien with Schmatz. And Lupien on to do the police work for the Montreal Canadiens. Had 2 fights with O'Reilly, won them both. At 6'6", 1974 draft pick, 2nd round out of the Montreal Juniors, is very tall and rangy, and what he does is just wrap you up like an octopus. And with the score, Boston 2 and Montreal nothing. Bruins Stanley Cup hockey continues after this message.
The first 2 penalties of the hockey game, both for high sticking, Lupien and Schmatz, 8:52. And I believe Andy Van Hellemond may be trying to settle things down a little bit as we look at the action in the corner. That's Milbury. Now there's Lupien, the top of your screen, right-hand corner with Schmatz, sort of threatening each other with their sticks, but I think that was a settling down type of call by the referee.
Shepard and Marcotte against Mondu and Lafleur. Shepard battles Mondu. It goes back to Robinson. Over to Lapointe, the shot misses. Behind the net, Mondu checked, rolls it off, and Marcotte takes it to Shepard. They work it out. Flip pass, Milbury. Milbury in for Shepard. Tips it in the corner. Battles Lapointe. And the Canadiens get it. Mondu starts it away to Robinson. Robinson with Lafleur and Mondu is over the line. Marcotte checks back, and the puck goes to Park. Good checking by Marcotte. Shepard back, and a shot in wide of Dryden. Boston leads 2-0. Both teams are short a man. Robinson checked. Shepard into the corner, battling Robinson. 6'3" Robinson, and he looks taller and rangier. Flips it off to Guy Lapointe. Lapointe off to Mondu, who tips it in the corner. Checked by Park hard. In the other corner, Lafleur taps it around. Into the stands. Face-off will be outside the line. A minute left on the matching penalties as we look at Brad Park. Outstanding candidate for Norris Trophy, won by Larry Robinson last year.
Guy Lafleur, who was not the factor in the second game that he was in the first, although he did score the overtime goal, but in the regulation play, he's always dangerous. You've got to watch him, but a couple of good body checks in this first period might straighten things out a little, so Boston's looking to get a hold of him in the corner.
Shutt starts it back with good stick handling. Coming on Doak. Doak wrote him off. Doak with a goal. Now Cashman off to Rick Smith. Rick Smith, center ice to Rattel, offside. And the faceoff just inside the Boston line as Jean Rattel is on with Cashman, Rick Smith, and Gary Doak. The Boston defense. 9:49 left in the first period, and there you see the penalties. And Don Cherry, the Bruins coach, as the Bruins hop to a 2-goal lead. Jarvis and Gainey now with Savard and Englund. The draw to Boston. Doak fires it out. Englund with it. Over to Savard. Savard carries. Jarvis clears in. Cheevers handles it. Gainey checks him. He rolls it around. Almost a penalty there for Cheevers. Gainey keeps it in. Loses to Rick Smith. Smith to Cashman. Cashman to Rick Smith. Now to Doak. And he fires it out. 7 seconds left on the matching penalties. Gainey winding up center ice for Savard. And clubs are at full strength. The Bruins rush. Cashman can't get it to Schmatz. And now Rattel, big play, breaks up Schutt, gets it back again. Cashman trying to move with it, can't. A rolling puck. Rick Smith clears it up, a deflection into the penalty box, and a face-off at center ice. Now the pace has slowed without that big enthusiasm, but this is what I'm sure Don Cherry wants, a pace like this.
Well, I'm sure he's much more pleased about the pace as we see it right now, but the Bruins forwards, if they can watch the wingman coming through center ice, that Boston defense can stand up. Very important, because that's the kind of thing that slows your offense down. If they can break enough of those Canadian drives up at the blue line, they can slow this tempo.
Big line on for the Canadiens, and McNabb gets it from Schmatz, who's at right wing, Jonathan left wing, and they clear it in the Canadian end. Lapointe with Jonathan right on him. He's hit. Schmatz trying to keep it in. Battles, still battles. And it goes to Schutt. Schutt to Lafleur, and he's got Milbury to beat. Broken up by Mike Milbury. A good quick poke check on Lafleur as they were one-on-one, and Jonathan works at center ice. Jonathan with McNabb, 3-on-2. McNabb with Schmatz. McNabb going in. Pass in front, and Jonathan couldn't get it. And the Canadiens trying to work it out as Jonathan was hit on the play. Schmatz intercepts, flips it right back in. Milbury it was, forechecking in the corner. John?
A good check by Milbury in the corner as Guy Lafleur turned the wrong way, and Milbury was right there. Scotty Bowman not too pleased about the infraction, but Milbury got him with a good check in the corner as Peter McNabb came through on the right wing side. He flipped a little centering pass. Jonathan was streaking through the center, but Guy Lapointe made a very fine play on defense. He blocked Jonathan's body out of the play so he couldn't get in for that centering pass by McNabb, and it went wide.
Boston leads 2-0. Shepard. Schmatz stays at right wing with Marcotte. Schmatz intercepts. Pass up, stopped by Savard, who's on with Robinson. To Lafleur. To Schutt. He could be offside. Cheevers handles this one, though. Clears it around. Rick Smith trying to move it out. Shepard with it. Shepard gets it off on the right wing side, but Schutt is there. Now Lafleur over the line. Off for Lemaire. The shot very wide. And the rebound. Schutt knocked down. Penalty. Schmatz. Interference. He knocked down Schutt in the corner, and he hadn't touched the puck, and it's a power play for Montreal as the Bruins lead it 2-0 with the score Boston 2 and Montreal 0. You're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs.
The mistakes can be costly against the Montreal Canadiens. Bobby Schmatz, a questionable play here, knocking Steve Schutt down. Interference is called. 12:24. Don Cherry just gave a shake to Scotty Bowman on the bench because Bowman's been hassling the referee for a lack of calls. He feels that possibly Bowman was responsible for getting this call on the Bruins, and he was just sort of giving him the Yankee cheer.
Réjean Houle is at center. Lambert left wing. Yvon Lambert. Yvan Cornway is right wing. Guy Lafleur the right point. Guy Lapointe is back at the blue line too. So 4 forwards, and Marcotte is still arguing with Van Hellemond as Shepard and Marcotte, Park and Rick Smith. The draw to Boston, and they clear it out. Marcotte with it. Moves it to the Canadian line. Lapointe. To Houle. To Lambert. They play it in. Behind the net. Rick Smith can't clear it out. Lafleur keeps it in. Intercepted by Marcotte as Lafleur tried to set it up. And over the line, Shepard. Shot wide. Rebound. Rick Smith. Shot. Save Dryden. Shepard keeps it in. Now knocks it back to the Boston end. Houle down the forecheck. Park is there. Park wheels it around and out. No icing. And the Bruins have had a shot while shorthanded. 1:15 left on the penalty. Lafleur trying to come out. Shepard after him. He gives it to Lapointe. They fire in the corner. Cheevers out. Hangs on. He was going to whirl, drop it, and try and clear it. But a quick whistle from Van Hellemond, and Cheevers will go for a quick whistle, and his mobility even more in evidence in this game tonight.
Well, he's been very sharp in goal all series long as we look at the coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Scotty Bowman. Boston out in front 2-0. Goals by Doak and Middleton in the first period. 1:04 left on the penalty to Bobby Schmatz.
Shepard and Jonathan now. Shepard gets the draw to Milbury. Can't clear it. Robinson, big reach, keeps it in. The Lemaire. Pass up, deflected to the corner. Cheevers out of the net. Wheels it around the boards. Shepard clears it out. Big play by Cheevers. Astounding mobility with the team shorthanded. Lapointe clears it right in. Again, Cheevers on it. Again, making the play. Up the dasher. Marcotte, Jonathan. They work it out. 47 seconds left on the penalty to Schmatz. 6:10 left, first period. 2-0 Boston. Robinson ready to wind up. Off to Lapointe. And Marcotte broke it up, but trailing. Lemaire has it. Lemaire over the line. Check. Oh, he is hit by Brad Park. The check. One of the best of the series as he rattled him with a hip check. And Lemaire lost control to Marcotte. 12 seconds left in the penalty. Doak, Rick Smith on. The Canadiens rush Lafleur. Over the line, streaking, trying to go through. Shot! And he spilled, and the shot went wide, and he came close. And Jonathan clears. Schmatt is on, goes down, and Dryden has to play it. No icing. Robinson fires it out. What a check, Brad Park on Lemaire. Back comes Middleton. Middleton to Schmatz. Schmatz fell down, and Lapointe has it in the corner. Middleton forechecking. 5:18 left. Always a dangerous moment here, just after you've killed the penalty. As Mondeau clears it in, and the play offside. 5:10 left, and a chance now for the line to get organized as Middleton and Schmatz move to the attack there.
Well, a continuation of the same great action as here's Jacques Lemaire. Watch the hip check by Park. Beautiful move. And Milbury rushed out at the blue line, sending Lemaire to one side. When he tried to come back, Park knew where he was going to go, put the hip on him, and you saw him. Beautiful check.
Bruins work it out to Cashman. Cashman into Rattel. Can't hang on. Engblom with Rattel in pursuit. Rattel checking him to the corner. And ties him up as Jean Rattel has figured in both Boston goals with assists, and he tied up Engblom, who does not have the mobility. There is Park with that great hip check. Stay with us during tonight's first intermission. Tom Larson will have highlights from Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final Series, played Tuesday night in Montreal.
It's that kind of forechecking by Rattel that's drawing the Canadian forwards deeper into their own end than usual, which is taking away, as I mentioned earlier, this is very...
Here's Middleton with the puck. In front, and Cashman banned on the shot. A hard, quick pass behind the net. Middleton with it. Middleton off in the corner to Cashman, and he missed it. Overskated it, and Gainey rushes out. Gainey clears it in, checked by Doak, back for Cashman, wheels it around, Jarvis and Rick Smith going for it, in the corner, jammed up, heavy hitting there. Rattel works it free, off for Doak, and Doak is out with Middleton. To Middleton, coming up on Engblom, trying to cut inside, Doak moves in, the puck flies free as Doak got a shot, but wide. Gainey trying to come out, Rattel checks him. Gainey gets away from Rattel. Starts it back to Engblom. Engblom by Middleton. Over the line, broken up by Doak. Rick Smith to Rattel. He's checked. And Doak takes a run at Ohl and misses him. Rick Smith round the boards and out as Wensink is hit by Robinson. 3:51 left first period. 2-0 Boston. O'Reilly a hard hit on Bouchard. Penalty coming up. No penalty, I'm sorry. That was a linesman with his hand up. 3:41 left in the first period. 2-0 Boston. Bouchard and O'Reilly, chin to chin. Separated by the linesman. O'Reilly caught Bouchard a good check at center ice. Well, the two best teams in the National Hockey League, the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens, going at it. Live from Boston Garden, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals. Well, here's a move by Scotty Bowman. He's got Larry Robinson at left wing. Lafleur is at center. Ohl right wing. Robinson, who is great mobility, good puck carrier, and hits hard in the corners. McNabb, Marcotte, Schmatz for Boston. McNabb gets the draw to Milbury. Milbury flips it out. Lapointe and Bouchard, the Montreal defense. So let's see how Robinson works as a forward, and he's played there before. Park breaks up Bouchard. A pass up, rolls to Park. to Schmatz, and it's flipped into the Canadian end. McNabb in the forecheck on Lapointe. Forcing a pass around. Schmatz guarding Robinson. Lafleur flicks it out. No! Marcotte keeps it in. Blocked by Dryden. Off now for Lapointe. Lapointe's pass blocked by Milbury. Trying to set the play back. He's checked. And the puck jammed up in front of the Boston bench. Bowman has so many varieties, so many talented players, and so many moves he can make. We were talking about it, John. He could make 3 wrong moves and they'd be all right, whereas the coach for the Washington Capitol can hardly make 1.
Well, that's about the size of it, Fred. But Larry Robinson playing left wing fine on the power play because he can roam around, but it's tough for him to get adjusted to that left wing position, and he's not playing it very well. Boston could take advantage of it.
But the Canadiens keep it in now. Cornway out to Lemaire. Save! Cheevers, a beauty! And the puck over on the boards. Lemaire lined that one up. Lemaire again checked by McNabb into the corner, and Park starts it away with a good shift to Milbury, to Schmatz. Schmatz fires in, and Lemaire lined that one up, and Cheevers, great stop. Marcotte drives as he stole the puck. And a save. Dryden kept in by McNabb. McNabb, good body position to Schmatz behind the net. Schmatz checked, knocked down by Englund, gets up, throws a punch at Englund. The Canadiens trying to move it out. Shot, checked by Park with a rattling hit. And it's off McNabb to Schmatz, played in the Montreal zone. 2:10 left first period, 2-0 Boston. Savard gets it back. Pass up blocked by Marcotte. Shuts pass, knocked down by Rick Smith. To Marcotte. To Middleton. Middleton has to go to the corner to handle it. Takes a hit from Englund and is knocked down in the corner. The puck is taken by the Canadiens. Lemaire winding up. Long shot, saved Cheevers. And Cashman the rebound. He kicked it out to him brilliantly. Cashman over the line. Had Middleton free and elected to go for a shot. A good play, but Dryden saw Middleton and there was no rebound as Cashman fired from 40 feet. And the Bruins have outshot the Canadiens for sure here in the first period.
We saw as fine a game Tuesday night at the Montreal Forum as you'll want to see between the Canadiens and the Bruins. The Canadiens finally won it at 13:09 of the first sudden death overtime. But here in the first period of the Boston Garden, this has been sensational, crowd-pleasing action. 1:38 left to play. First period, Boston out in front, 2-0 on goals by Doak and Middleton.
Rattel, Middleton, and Cashman. The draw to the middle and a shot, a save, Dryden, as he whipped a quick backhander. Gainey works it out. Clears it in on Cheevers. He covers up with Lafleur right there. Face-off in the Boston end, 1:28 left. The Bruins have been winning most of the face-offs, no matter what center is out there. And this now is Jarvis against Rattel. And Jarvis rated as possibly the best in the league at winning face-offs. He's centering Gainey and Lafleur. The Bruins win it as Rattel got it back to Cheevers, and Cheevers to Cashman, and he clears it out with 1:22 left in the period. Robinson to Gainey, met by a stand-up check by Rattel. The puck into the corner. Dope checked by Lafleur. Lafleur behind the net, rolls it out in front. Lapointe a shot, hit the post. And Cashman, a quick flip into the Boston bench, and Guy Lapointe drilled one then and hit the post to the left of Gerry Cheevers.
Well, the discipline of the Bruin forwards has broken down right here. Watch the play go back to Guy Lapointe. Now, there's nobody out there on that point man. When the puck goes behind the net in the Boston end, those forwards have got to look after those point men under Don Cherry's system. Sometimes they're not quite as disciplined. They don't turn quick enough and pick up their man. Here comes the pass. Lafleur back to Lapointe, and he hit the goalpost.
The draw in the Boston end. Shepard with it. And he gets it to center ice. Lafleur flicks it back in. Ooh, ridden off by Park. Back to get it. Milbury to Park. Park starts it away. Good play, Park. Out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly fires it in off Lapointe. Jonathan and Lapointe go into the corner. Hard. He takes Lapointe and is knocked down. Jonathan is on the rebound of it. Lapointe coming out. A tripping call on Jonathan. Delayed call. Robinson with it over the line. Puck kept in now as O'Reilly tags Robinson with 27 seconds left. A tripping call on Jonathan after he took a wicked hit from Guy Lapointe off the boards. He went barreling into Lapointe, and down Jonathan went on the rebound. 27 seconds left in the period, and the Canadiens get their second power play of the first period and of the game. There were earlier matching penalties.
Well, here's the penalty coming up. Jonathan trying to contain Guy Lapointe. Now, at that moment, he realized should let him go because he's coming out of his own end. At that moment, he's harmless. Somebody else will pick him up. You cannot afford to take those kind of penalties against the Montreal Canadiens' vaunted power play. We have 27 seconds left here in the first period. Jonathan off for a holding at 19:33.
Goals by Doak and Rick Middleton. Shepard on the draw. Fought for. Shut. Back to Savard, left point. Into Lemaire. Check. Shut with it. Back to Savard. Screen shot. Save Cheevers, and he covers up. As Larry Robinson was jamming Rick Smith right at the crease, they have Robinson up as a forward. 15 seconds left. Cheevers, big stop. Savard.
Well, watch Robinson, a big, strong defenseman playing on the forward line. Now, he can cause a lot of havoc in front. Rick Smith tried to contain him, but Cheevers very fortunate to get that rebound on a big stop on a drive by Serge Savard from the left point.
15 seconds left in the period. Robinson is at right wing, and he heads for the crease to bother Cheevers and screen him. On the draw, back to Savard again, to Lafleur. Lafleur fires, tipped high in the corner. Bruins fight for it. Lemaire there. Park trying to freeze it. Falls down. Lemaire gets it free. 1 second left. And that's it. The period ends as Lemaire got it over in front of the net. And the first period ends. 1:33 left on the penalty to Jonathan starting the second period. The score at the end of the first period, the Bruins 2 and the Canadiens nothing.
And we're now all set for second period action. Boston shorthanded. Here's Fred Cusick.
And Shepard and Marcotte, Park and Milbury against Lemaire, Shutt, Lafleur with the two defensemen, Lapointe and Robinson. The draw, and Milbury back to get it. Park knocked down by Shutt. Milbury taking his time and clearing. 1:20 left on the penalty to Stan Jonathan. The Canadiens. Robinson off to Lapointe. Lapointe into Lafleur. Lafleur in. Dropped it. And Shepard got it with a key play as Lafleur dropped it behind him. And Shutt keeps it in. His pass blocked. Milbury trying to knock it out. Does. Gets it off to Shepard. Shepard center ice. What a play Shepard made. As Lafleur dropped that one. Shepard knocks it in for Park. Park checked by Lafleur. Takes a hit. And Milbury gets the puck. And the clear as Milbury is hit by Shutt. 45 seconds left. Lafleur made a behind-the-back pass, drawing Cheevers out, but Shepard intercepted. Robinson rushes. Broken up by Park. Park, quick clear. What a play Brad Park made on Robinson. And Miller is out now with Schmops. 30 seconds left on the penalty. Here comes Gainey up the left side. The shot saved Cheevers. And the clear by Brad Park. And that one stung Gerry Cheevers. Trying to figure out where he took it. He is stung by that one. Right hand, the stick hand. As Gainey unloaded a heavy shot. Jarvis rushes, center ice. The clear in. The rebound. Schmops on it, and he clears it out. Jonathan out, and this will be icing. And we're looking at Cheevers, who takes off his glove. It's the right hand.
The backhand glove, a tremendous drive by Bob Gainey. Cheevers stayed right with it, parried it with the backhand glove, but you can tell that's a piece of fiberglass on the back there, but that shot was so heavy and so hard that it went right through it, and Cheevers really felt that one.
That's called a blocker, and that's where he carries the stick as he lines up for the faceoff. The Bruins killed off the penalty. They lead 2-0. Riseborough against McNabb. Puck to Jonathan. Loses it to Cornwallis. He's broken up by Rick Smith. Back up the boards. It's cleared out. Icing call. And the faceoff back in the Boston end. And you saw Savard step in front of Jonathan. You talked about the interference. You wouldn't want to call it there. It would be a little too fine. But that prevented him from rushing down and preventing the icing.
Well, Stan Jonathan, who, as we look at Lou Nanne in the center, he's the coach and general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. He's the guest commentator on national TV.
Bruins with the puck. Jonathan off to O'Reilly. O'Reilly coming on Engblom, looking for McNabb. A pass in. Jonathan couldn't handle it. Gets it in the corner. Is hit hard by Savard. With it, McNabb to O'Reilly. To McNabb, knocked down. Shoots, save. Rick Smith trying to keep it in. Can't. Doak does with a big play at the line. The Bruins press. O'Reilly behind the net. Checked by Engblom. The puck around the boards. Doak moves in deep to O'Reilly. Another hard hit from Engblom. And back to get it Savard. To Cournoyer. He's hit by Jonathan. And Rick Smith clears it. And taken by Cournoyer. Picks up speed. Drops it off to Risebrough. He can't handle it as McNabb checked him. Ryan Engblom avoids a check by O'Reilly. Cheevers gets it around the boards to Jonathan. Oh, he is upended. Caught from behind, and Rick Smith tabbed Gainey. In the boards, O'Reilly battles, clears it out as the Canadiens now come with some hard hits. And Lapointe right back, clearing in, knocked down by O'Reilly. Out to center ice. Engblom, a pass up, stopped by Doak. Doak clearing in, wide of Dryden. Cashman forechecking, and the puck goes right out to Park, center ice. He's broken up by Chartres, who couldn't break with it. Cashman gets it, starts away. For Rattel. Rattel to Cashman, fed in. Middleton is at right wing, Cashman left wing. Rattel at center, in the corner, Middleton on it. Comes out of the corner once to Rattel, and then hopped over his stick. He would have been in alone. Great play by Middleton. Back comes Jarvis with Gainey. Puck fired in. Cheevers try to clear it off. Jarvis to Lapointe. Shot in. Save Cheevers. And he covers up. With the score Boston 2 and Montreal nothing, the 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs continue in just a moment. Jacques Lemaire with Lafleur and Shutt on the wings. For Boston, Shepard, Schmatz, and Marcotte. Face off in the Boston end. Marcotte, a false move. Milbury and Park on defense. Lapointe and Robinson for Montreal. The draw, Shepard had it, but it goes to Lapointe. Marcotte trying to move it out. Checked. Now Milbury. Out for Schmatz. Pass up, stopped by Lafleur. Lapointe, Robinson. Shut, and he's broken up. And Schmatz can't feed it in. Lafleur winding up again. Now Lapointe. A quick clear in, wide. Back for it first. Schmatz ahead of Shutt. Turns, picks up speed, gets it to Marcotte. To Schmatz on the move. But they can't convert. And Park on the loose puck. Flips it up. Robinson drives it back. Milbury intercepts. Knocks down Robinson and clears it in. Crowd yelling at the check by Milbury on Robinson. Shepard trying to break up Robinson. Robinson drives it out. Lafleur collects. And the Canadiens offside as Lemaire and Shutt try to handle that pass from Guy Lafleur.
Boston letting the Canadiens control the puck too much of the time here in the second period. That can be very costly because eventually Canadiens start to turn the momentum in their favor. They've had the puck too much of the time here in the second period by the fact that Boston is not making that good play once they control the puck. They've got to look up and hit their open man. They're not doing it. They're flipping it into center ice, and the Canadiens are coming right back.
Doak and Middleton have the goals. We're in the second period. About 5 minutes played. Mondeau breaks away. Gets it over the line to Risebrough. He has to go back for it. A pass up stopped by McNabb and a quick clear out by the Bruins. McNabb with O'Reilly and Jonathan. Rick Smith and Doak. Savard winds up. Pass up, bounces free, and McNabb gets it and clears it back in. The Canadiens just drill that puck up. This is Gilles Lupien. Intercepted by Middleton. Middleton to Jonathan, to Rick Smith. The pass blocked. Now Middleton gets it off the boards. Middleton can't make a play. Risebrough with it. Bruins defensive-minded here as Risebrough is checked by McNabb, who falls down. Play broken up by Middleton. Checked by Lupien. And bounced to the Boston bench. A face-off called at center ice. 14:30 left, second period, 2-0 Boston. With the score, the Bruins 2, the Canadiens 0. This is Boston Bruins Stanley Cup hockey. Now, Boston has not had a power play. The Canadiens have had 2. The Bruins have a 2-goal lead. Bob Miller started back, and Van Hellemond is not going to let the Bruins make that change. Miller has to go back to the bench. Mondu is centering Risebrough left and Uhl on the right. Puck to Rick Smith. Flips it in. Jonathan in on Englund. Checks him in hard. Englund bounces. McNabb in on Englund. Puck to Uhl. Uhl starts it away. Midland back checking. The puck fed in wide. Cheevers taps it to the corner. Rick Smith with it. Up to McNabb. McNabb checked by Mondu. Rick Smith gets it. Breaks it out with Midland. Is intercepted by Uhl. Uhl lost it. And Rick Smith and Uhl collide. Robinson trying to come out. Now to Mondu. Mondu gets by Doak. Gets it over the line. Is broken up by Midland. Midland a clear out. Lead pass. Too far for Jonathan. And the Canadiens come back, but McNabb breaks it up for Jonathan. Jonathan hit by Risebrough. With it, McNabb. With Midland. McNabb trying to go straight ahead himself, and the play is called offside. And Rick Midland has not only been a star offensively with 5 goals and 1 tonight on a great individual effort, but a star defensively as well.
Well, he made a great play over there on the right wing, just inside the Boston blue line, knocking the puck off, I believe, Riseborough's stick, as he was trying to move down that left wing side for the Canadiens. 13:36 left to play second period. Boston leading 2-0 on 2 goals in the first period. 59 seconds, Gary Doak, and at 5:11, Rick Middleton.
Bob Miller is at right wing. Never seen him play there. Rattel at center, Cashman left wing. Pass up to Jarvis. Check. Park up, trying to get it. Now with it, Milbury. To Cashman. He's checked. Rattel trying to move in. Can't. Milbury gets it center ice. Flips it back in. Miller moves in on Savard. Now Rattel. Savard's pass too far. Goes all the way down. Cheevers signals Park. Gives it to him. Park hit by Gainey. Oh, a rattling check. And they battle in the corner. And Gainey wants to go at him, and Milbury comes over. And Gainey would like nothing better than to take Park out of there. His main intent. And let's see how Van Hellemond calls this. John Cherry says, I don't want Park to get into any battles, any fights like this. And of course, Gainey wants to take him out of there, and Gainey is. They're both going out.
A hard hit by Bob Gainey in the corner started it all. I think he had his stick up a little high. But Andy Van Hellemond is calling penalties here as Milbury moved in very quickly. The danger of that, of course, is a third man in, but I don't think we're going to have anything like that on this one. But Park exchanged for Gainey, not a good exchange for the Bruins.
Live from Boston Garden, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, here's the play coming up. Park trying to turn Gainey here around on the Boston end. Now watch Gainey. Watch the stick right there. That's what Park objected to, and that should have been a 2-minute high-sticking penalty on Gainey. But none was called, and they get 2 minutes each for roughing at 7:03. But Gainey's stick was very high on that play. Could have been a minor penalty, as that's what Park took objection to.
Well, both teams are short a man. 12:57 left in the second period. Lemaire and Lafleur out there with Robinson and Lapointe. Shepard and Marcotte, Doak and Rick Smith. Lapointe clears it in. Cheevers handling. Left it for Rick Smith. Up the middle off Shepard, bounces to the Canadian end. Lapointe with Shepard. Checking, the Bruins all inside the line. Now Shepard after Lapointe, trying to force a pass that's bad, and he does. But Rick Smith's pass blocked by Lapointe. Lapointe avoids a Marcotte check. The puck goes in, and the Bruins playing it very carefully, and that's understandable in this situation. As the puck is cleared out by Rick Smith. Robinson back for it. Now to Lafleur. Marcotte picking up Lafleur. Lafleur flips away. Winding up, Marcotte after him. Gets it off to Lapointe. Bad pass, and Doak clears. Great play by Marcotte. Lemaire will try it now. And this could be icing. Well, won't reach the red line. Back foot Rick Smith. Behind the net, checked by Lapointe. Falls on the puck. A smart move by Rick Smith. 48 seconds left on the matching penalties. And the Bruins realize in a situation where some empty ice for players like Lapointe, Robinson, Lemaire, and Lafleur, They all individually can move, but Marcotte is right on Lafleur.
Well, the idea that Marcotte was trying to get through to the Canadiens is to slow the man down who has the puck and make him more deliberate, which of course slows the other players down. They cannot move until that puck carrier moves with the puck. Marcotte did an excellent job at the Canadian blue line, just slowing Canadians down enough to prevent that sort of breakaway speed that they are so famous for.
Rettel is out with Schmatz, Milbury, and Rick Smith now. The draw to Boston. Lost, regained. Now slides out, and Schmatz may have a breakaway. Here comes Schmatz. After him is Savard. He is a shot block. Rebound. Shot Milbury. Save. Puck cleared out. Hooking call on Montreal. Could be a penalty shot. Savard for hooking. And Schmatz was in the clear. That's a penalty shot if I ever saw one. With the score, Boston 2, Montreal nothing. Bruins Stanley Cup hockey continues after this message.
Well, if a player is in clean and he hooked or impeded from behind that prevents him from getting a shot on goal, it's a penalty shot. And I would say, Fred, you're right. Look at this. He's in all by himself. No call by the referee, Andy Van Hellemond. He never got a shot away, although the puck trickled into Dryden. Could have very easily called a penalty shot on the play, but the Bruins have the man advantage.
Draw to Schmatz. Schmatz lost the puck. Gets it again. Robinson checks him. He gets it to Cashman. Cashman in the corner. Back for Schmatz. Drives, and it's deflected high. Rebound. Rettel to Cashman. Into the corner. Rettel with it. Rettel checked by Jarvis. Cashman gets it. Back to Shepard. Shepard checked by Robinson. Robinson trying to break. And Schmatz moving back. Try to clear it out. Kept in by Jarvis. Pass in front. Schmatz just broke it up. Rettel back. 3-on-1. Rettel over the line. Robinson gets back. What a play he made, but Cashman has it now. Cashman going behind the net. Shepard in front. The pass is broken up. Now kept in by Park, who's on. Cleared away, and the play called for it offside. And the Bruins dangerously close to giving away a breakaway and then coming back with a 3-on-1. Larry Robinson. You understand why he was Norris Trophy winner, getting back on that play.
Now, when you're the last man back, Bobby Schmatz have the puck. You never throw it away blind. He threw it back along the boards. Jarvis, very quickly realizing what was going on, moved in, and he almost centered it in front to Robinson, who could have tipped it by Cheevers. 10:48 left to play, second period.
Bruins on a power play. 1:17 left on the penalty. To Savard for hooking Schmatz. The draw to Boston. Shepard over to Park. For McNabb, and he lost it. And Lapointe, the quick clear. Shepard back, LeBaire after him. Now to Park. Park with Gainey. Gainey a run at him again, and Shepard gets it off to McNabb, who overskated it. And Gainey has it. Gainey check, knocked down. O'Reilly with it. Over the line to McNabb, moving in. Shot, save. Dryden. Puck kept in. Shepard, shot, block. Shepard in for McNabb. Shot, save. Oh, McNabb had the chance. And Dryden with the biggest save of the game right now. Peter had a second or two, and maybe that's too long to even think about it.
Well, it's easy from up here, but Peter McNabb had room from this angle to move out and give him a better angle at Dryden. Dryden held that short side goalpost. McNabb actually, from the angle he was at, did not have much room to put it by Dryden. If he'd moved towards the center a little more, he had the time, but of course, we're up here and looking at the play. Peter's down there. He's not too sure just what he's going to do next. A little bit of hesitation, but you can't blame him for that. The action's been hot and heavy as there's 43 seconds left on the penalty to Serge Savard.
The draw, and the Canadiens clear it out. The line is McNabb, middle and left, O'Reilly right with Park and Schmatz. Forechecking Risebrough. And he bothers Park. Now McNabb off to Middleton. Left wing side with O'Reilly. Picking up speed. Fires it in. Dryden to Robinson. He can't get it. McNabb keeps it in. Back for Park. Fed around the boards. Dryden, a big block. Check. O'Reilly with it. Trying to jam it in as he almost caught Dryden out of position. And Dryden with the big, long, lanky left leg reaching out, able to tie it up at the side of the net. Had O'Reilly poked out in front, he had an empty net.
Well, Ken Dryden not known for coming out of his net, and the reason is that he's not comfortable out there. And look at this. O'Reilly trying to stuff it in the corner, but with his back to the goal, Dryden, watch this now. This is great action around the Canadiens net, but look at Dryden with that long left leg. He doesn't like to come out. He's not comfortable out there, and he got trapped.
I said long left leg, too. It's not any longer than the right, but
No,
it happened to be there.
But he has a couple of long legs, Fred, I'll tell you that, and it got a great reach.
14 seconds left on the penalty to Savard. 9:45 left, second period. Boston leads 2-0. Their goals, first period, by Gary Doak and Rick Middleton. And the Bruins on a power play, looking keep the pressure on. Jarvis against McNabb. McNabb to Rick Smith. Check. Middleton keeps it in. Falls down, gets it away to O'Reilly. O'Reilly to McNabb. Backhand save. Puck free. Cleared. With it, Doak. Bias. Save. Oh, 2 stops in a row by Ken Dryden. And the penalty is up. And Boston had an excellent power play. They had the chances. And big Ken Dryden, the applause for the Bruins power play. Ken Dryden, some big stops.
Well, here's the pressure right here. Good play by Middleton into O'Reilly. Watch now over there, McNabb, the backhander. And here's another big stop from the point. Doak drove one from the right point, and Dryden had to be very quick. Look at the position that Dryden has in the balance. He's down, but now again he's up as he was set for McNabb's drive.
Miller is centering Jonathan on the right, Marcotte on the left, and the Canadiens at full strength. They trail 2-0. Lemaire to Savard. Stopped by Rick Smith. Lemaire again. Good shift up. Drives it in all the way around the boards. And the Canadiens keep it in. Blocked by Rick Smith on the pass up. And he clears it out by Englund. No, I seen Dryden trying to play it. Does. Right to the Boston end. And Cheevers has to get ahead of Lemaire and tie it up. And with the score, Boston 2 and Montreal 0, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs. Face off to the right of Cheevers, who made that play there to slow this game down, keep the pace down. He'll take the whistles and the face-offs no matter where they are. Shepard against Lemaire. Lemaire, Lafleur shot line against Shepard. Schmatt's right, Marcotte left. That puts him on Lafleur. The draw goes back to Robinson. Screen shot in, blocked. Shepard clears it out. Savard, a quick pass up. Lafleur touched it, and it's offside. And the frequent whistles are okay as far as the Bruins are concerned. A chance to take a face-off, get organized, and cover your man. Shepard trying to work it free is stopped by Robinson. Savard to Shutt. Puck popped in, cleared out by Marcotte. And the face-off is being called inside the Boston blue line by linesman Pavlich. Leon Stickel, the other linesman.
I believe that's Don Cherry in a Bruins uniform. A
Great
young
call.
defenseman.
I was going to say Penny Lund, but he was a right-hand shot.
Yeah, I think that's who it is, but I'll tell you, it's hard to tell, boy. But I think that's Don Cherry.
There he is. 8:33 left. The draw won by Shepard. Milbury, a soft flick out. Savard winding up against Shepard on him. Forces a pass that's stopped by Boston. And Park flips it in. Going to call this icing. When we started the playoffs, they started waving off little situations like that. The flip, saying, you know, the fellow should have gotten it. Too many whistles. But the Bruins will take the whistles.
Well, I think one of Don Cherry's biggest beef is the lack of consistency in the refereeing. One series they're calling it this way, one another.
Bruins get the draw. Milbury turns the net. Out to Shepard. Shepard trying to clear it out. Blocked. Milbury lost it. Lafleur bats it in. Back for it, Park. Around the boards and hops over Englund's stick. Shepard in pursuit, down to get it. Centers it, a backhander on Dryden. Dryden drops it for Englund, and this could be icing. At the end of tonight's game, Schlitz Light Beer, the only light beer with gusto, will present the Most Valuable Player Award. Boston goal first period. Doak from Rattel after 59 seconds. His first series goal. Rick Middleton from Jean Rattel at 5:11. Boston 10 shots, Montreal 7. It's been a grinder here in the second period. Both teams had some power play chances, as Bob Miller is in at right wing with Rattel and Cashman. The draw to the Canadiens. Jarvis, Cornway right, Lambert left. Lambert hasn't played much. A pass up the boards. Cornway winding up in the zone. Rattel after him. Miller after him now. Forces a pass. Robinson carries out. Puck played up. Grabbed by Doak. Hangs on. And the Canadiens were offside on the play. Face off outside the Boston line. Puck driven in wide of Cheevers. Rick Smith there. Fell down. Gets up. Flicks it to Cashman slowly. Cashman trying to move it out with Rattel's help. Can't. Now it's knocked out. Ooh there. Broken up by Cashman. Cashman's pass stopped by Robinson. Robinson starting back. Rattel after him. Slows him down. Now Savard to Robinson. Miller in on Robinson. And the pass goes free. This is icing. No, they wave it off. It's all the way to Cheevers. Cashman wheels, getting the puck and trying to clear it out. And it struck Van Hellemond. Then a face-off call. And with the score, Boston 2, Montreal nothing. The 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs continue in just a moment. Marcotte is out to cover Lafleur. A deliberate move by Don Cherry in this play with McNabb and O'Reilly. When he spotted Lafleur, he put Marcotte out for Jonathan. McNabb to Marcotte. Fed in. O'Reilly on Engblom. Dryden handles it though. Up the boards and out. Brad Park there. Quick clear up. McNabb. Checked by Gainey. O'Reilly to Marcotte. To McNabb. Can't move in. O'Reilly does. Spill trying to move in. Dropped it back. To Marcotte. A shot. A save. And the crowd wants a tripping call on the Canadiens. Out now, Mondeau. Mondeau whips it around the boards. And they let it go, and Engblom a shot. Blocked. Bounces in the corner. McNabb there. He's down, though. The puck bounces for Milbury as Gainey is upended. Milbury rushes. Flips it in. Can't move in on Engblom. Around the boards, Marcotte. Here's Engblom hauling down Milbury. The puck to O'Reilly in the corner. O'Reilly out of the corner to Marcotte. Marcotte keeps it in. In for McNabb with O'Reilly headed in. McNabb in the corner can't make a play. Now gets it to Marcotte. A shot kicked out by Dryden. And center ice Milbury with it. McNabb was flattened on that play. And McNabb failed to clear the zone as Milbury backhanded it in as the Bruins had some pressure. With 5:35 left in the second period, Boston 2 and Montreal nothing.
Good shift by O'Reilly, Cashman, and McNabb, or Marcotte rather. Marcotte, O'Reilly, and McNabb as they kept the Canadiens in their own end and had a couple of good scoring opportunities, one by Marcotte from about 35 feet off the left wing.
The draw to Serge Savard. Up the middle, checked by Doak. Lemaire drives it in, kicked out by Cheevers. A long shot, but plenty of steam. Rick Smith checking. Doak in the corner. Knocked around the other side. Rick Smith there. Trying to clear it out, and it into the stands. The faceoff will be to the left of Cheevers. This is a period where faceoffs have become so important, and the Bruins doing very well in that department. Stay with us during our second intermission. Johnny Peirson will talk with Jean Beliveau. Famous Montreal Canadiens. Tom Larson, Villor with a recap. The puck goes over on the board. Schmatz moves it behind the net. Lost it. Ooh, trying to move it in front. Blocked. Schmatz again. Checked on the play. Ooh, battling him. Rick Smith trying to clear it out. Along the dasher. It bounces. Savard keeps it in. In the corner. Doak after it. Up the dasher again and out this time. And Jonathan with a possible break, but Dryden comes way out of the net to clear it around for Robinson. Can't move it out. Second time, moves it up, and it goes to Savard. Savard up the middle. Now to Oul. Oul to Savard. Savard wide in the corner, centers it, and it goes to Jonathan. He's all alone though. Goes center ice. Coming on Robinson. Goes wide, stops. Oh, he took a hard hit from Robinson. Rattel trying to keep it in, and Jonathan on the ice, able to tie it up in a face-off in the Montreal zone. Tom Larson will be along with a recap of the first two periods of tonight's game. Jean Beliveau will be Johnny Pearson's guest.
And Stan Jonathan, who has been a disappointment in the playoffs this year, showing a lot of indecision, and his timing is off. Looking at one-on-one, he did not skate hard enough through center to try to take that defenseman with him into the corner maybe with a centering pass, and they got the face-off.
Middleton keeps it in now, knocked down, and Park to Cashman, over the line, checked by Lapointe, goes into the corner, jammed up. Tried free, and Middleton after it. Avoids a hit, gets it to Cashman, the shot deflected wide, as Rick Middleton has played a magnificent game. Came out of the corner and set up Cashman, and the applause for Middleton, and Cashman's shot deflected.
Watch Middleton take the hit from Guy Lapointe, stay there, go with it, and then flip a perfect pass out to Cashman, who made the turn. He could see what was coming up. Cashman made the turn to get set for the pass, which he knew would probably come. Middleton took the hit from Guy Lapointe. He knew that was coming too, and he made a beautiful centering pass.
Has it again, Middleton in the corner, looking, check, and it goes to Gainey. Gainey broke it up. Rattel trying to keep it in. Now Gainey gets it. He's checked and back to cover Middleton behind Park. A flip up to the Canadian zone. Engblom coming back with Gainey. And they drive it in, rolling. Cheevers bats it around for Marcotte. Marcotte broken up by Lapointe. Lapointe out of the corner, pass in front, backhander, save on Lafleur. And the Bruins back, Middleton, lead pass, Marcotte may get this, drives and misses. Cashman right side, keeps it in, takes a hit. Marcotte with it for Park. Park fires, Dryden saves. Marcotte to Park again, a shot, missed the net, a penalty coming up on Montreal. Holding call on Jarvis. As Brad Park had two tremendous shots. And the Bruins have a power play with 3:09 left here in the second period. A holding call on Jarvis.
Oh, what action here by the Bruins. Brad Park with one drive. Dryden stayed up, made the stop. Here's the second one. And also again to miss the net. But what great hockey we've seen here. From almost two periods of play, Boston out in front 2-0. The penalty goes to Jarvis for holding at 16:51. As Boston applying tremendous pressure. Marcotte, Middleton, and Jean Rattel. And I'll tell you, that line has been great. What a player that Middleton's turned out to be.
And Marcotte set up both those plays. There's Lafleur with a bit on Cheevers.
And a beautiful right skate save by Cheevers. Very, very quick. Guy Lapointe made a good play along the right boards. He centered it in front. And Guy Lafleur missed a great chance.
Draw to O'Reilly. To Shepard, left point. Into McNabb. McNabb in the corner. Moves it in deep to Cashman. Around for O'Reilly, off wing side. O'Reilly broken up. Shepard gets it though. Rolls it in. McNabb on it. Can't get it. Shepard keeps it in, a shot. Took wide as Cashman was in front. Knocked down on the play. McNabb back to Shepard. Shepard into O'Reilly. Off for Park. Drives. Misses. O'Reilly the rebound in front. Can't get it. Over to Park. Park wheels, turns, cuts in front. Gets it to McNabb. Shot. Save! And in the corner, Cashman with it. The Bruins storm the Canadiens with a power play. Cashman to O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Cashman, in front to McNabb. Shot blocked. Cashman back to Shepard. Shepard in for Cashman. Cashman in the corner to McNabb. Quick shot, save! Dryden! What a stop he made in McNabb. O'Reilly with it. Loses. And the puck is cleared. 1 minute of solid scheming power play. McNabb robbed by Ken Dryden. 2 minutes left here in the second period. Shepard to O'Reilly. Broken up. And over the line, it is called for the offside. 40 seconds left. As fine a power play as you want to see, but there's the big man.
And he made a tremendous stop out of Peter McNabb, standing 10 feet right in front of his doorstep. Here he comes now. Watch Dryden. Beautiful stop with that catching glove. He couldn't contain it, but he managed to regain his composure with that stick. Here's the beautiful play. Watch Cashman set him up right in front. There's the drive, and that's a magnificent play all around. Bruins passing the puck well. Shepard to O'Reilly into McNabb, and a sensational stop by Dryden.
Well, 1 minute of solid action in the Canadian end. 1:49 left here in the second period. Draw to Park, who stays on with Shepard. Rattel, Jonathan Schmatz the line. Shepard clears in. Dryden for Engblom. Kept in by Park. For Jonathan, moving in, the shot blocked. Shot by Jonathan, blocked again by Dryden as that reached him. And the Canadiens clear it. All the way down behind Cheevers. Back for Shepard. 15 seconds left on the penalty. Shepard starts it away. Up to Schmatz, stays onside. Flipped it. It's blocked. Center ice. And Gainey rushes. Penalty is up. Gainey picks up Uhl. Turns Jonathan. Drops it in front. And great play, Rick Smith on Uhl. The puck is back to Engblom. Shot. Blocked in front. Park trying to clear it out. And Park has it. Ahead now to Rattel. Rattel over the line. In for Jonathan. Too deep. Jonathan in the corner. Cuts back. Drops it for Rick Smith, who kept it in. In the corner for Schmatz. Less than a minute left. Rattel with it. Behind the net. Rolls it off for Jonathan. Jonathan checked by Lapointe. And the puck to Jarvis. Jarvis off to Engblom. Engblom over the line. Trying to go in on Doak. Ridden off. Spun around. Into the corner. In to get it. Lafleur dropped it right to Jonathan. 20 seconds left. Off for Schmatz. A break here with Rattel. Off for Rattel and hopped over his stick as he started to cut in with Jonathan. 15 seconds left. These two lines are tied. The Bruins tie it up. And the fans, well, you hear them. 11 seconds left. Face off to the right of Dryden, who has prevented the Bruins from adding to that 2-zip lead, particularly on the power play.
Well, they didn't score on the power play, Fred, but that was as good a power play as you want to see. They had the Canadiens standing flat-footed in their own end. They were passing it all around them. Here's Cheevers making a big stop in front, and watch this on Gainey. A little bit of toe dancing with the glove and the stick.
Miller keeps it in. Doak, too. Now it's blocked. Time will run out in the period as Miller battles for a shot. And there was no scoring in the second period, as the Bruins preserve a 2-0 lead. The score at the end of the second period, Boston 2 and Montreal 0.
All set now for third period action. Here's Fred Cusick.
Châtelain, Guy Lafleur, and Steve Shutt, with Savard and Robinson. And for Boston, Greg Shepard, Marcotte, who has mostly been out there against Lafleur, particularly in the second period. Schmatz right wing with Park and Milbury. Savard with it as we're underway third period. Lemaire rolls it in. Cheevers for Park. Around the boards. Robinson against Schmatz. And the puck goes out to center ice. Lafleur flipping it back in, but Shutt was offside. And a face-off at center ice. Looking at Guy Lafleur. World's greatest hockey player, says Don Cherry. Seems to have a little cut on the forehead that he did not have after game 2. Puck at center ice blocked by Park. Robinson. Pass blocked by Schmatz. Savard taps it in. Milbury on it. Now to Marcotte. Over to Park. Up for Schmatz. Doesn't work. Schmatz breaks up Robinson. To Shepard. Shepard with Schmatz. Gets it over to Marcotte. Marcotte a backhander, and it's wide as he cut in. Schmatz keeps it in. To Shepard. Shot. Save Dryden. As Shepard gunned that for the short side. Guy Lafleur flips it, and the face-off to the right of Dryden, as the Bruins, with solid checking, set up a scoring chance or two.
Nice play by Don Marcotte. Here it comes, I believe. Marcotte to Shepard. Here's the drive, and look at Dryden. Well positioned, good balance, good concentration, and we're seeing two very, very fine goaltenders in this final series.
Cashman left wing, Rick Middleton right wing. Middleton back for Rick Smith. Over to Doak. Doak fires in. Save. Rebound in front. And with it, Cashman drills it. Block. Cashman again with everybody down. Cuts in front and fires high as he has another chance. Doak keeps it in. Check. Clears it up. Block. Engblom taps it out. And Rick Smith on it, and the Bruins had a great chance there. And Dryden knocked it around the boards. Rattel keeps it in. Centering pass. Stopped by Mondu. In on Dryden. He drops it middle and goes in. Centers it. It's blocked. Rattel gets it free to Cashman. Cashman checked. Lapointe gets it out. Pass up, stop. Rick Smith handled it beautifully. Cleared it up to the Montreal line. Now Engblom. Up the boards. Doak hits Mondu and knocks him down. Great hit by Doak. Puck cleared out by the Bruins. Mondu back up, clears it in. Robinson is after it. And it's knocked up the boards. Now Robinson keeps it in. Broken up by Doak as Rick Smith hauls Robinson down. Lapointe now with the Bruins changing quickly. Engblom. A wild pass stopped by Milbury. Quick clear out. Rattel can't set up Middleton. And McNabb can't hit Lafleur. As Uhl and Marcotte battle, the puck fed in. Around the boards, Uhl trying to keep it in. Lafleur does. Cheevers out of the net. Gets it to Milbury. Up the middle, McNabb breaks. McNabb over the line, checked by Lupien. Moves for a shot and it's wide. Marcotte a shot blocked. In the corner, O'Reilly spilled. Or knocked off it. Savard keeps it. Spins away. Savard to Uhl. Fed in. Could be icing. A race. Park back. And they wave off the icing. Lafleur keeps it in. Broken up. Milbury carries it out. Milbury for McNabb. With Milbury. To Milbury. He's in. To McNabb. Scores! Peter McNabb from Mike Milbury. A beautiful termination. And Peter McNabb makes it 3-0 for Boston. As Peter McNabb went right for the net. He did not do that in the first period, and it possibly cost the Bruins a goal, but this time he capitalized on a beautiful play by Milbury. Bruins feed it in as they lead. Around the boards, Conway checked by McNabb. Lapointe checked by O'Reilly for McNabb. In for O'Reilly, has to go to the boards for it. Dryden trying to clear it out. McNabb trying to keep it in. And it's tapped up. Conway gets it out. Center ice. Offside to Risebrough. Peter McNabb had 2 shots on net in the first. With the score Boston 3, Montreal nothing. This is Boston Bruins Stanley Cup hockey.
Mike Milbury with a tremendous burst of speed broke through the Canadiens defense after making the pass to Peter McNabb. He took the return pass and then in on Dryden. He flipped it to the side and McNabb tossed it in.
Risebrough now winding up for Montreal. Rattel after him. And the pass up goes all the way down to Cheevers. He clears it himself outside the line. Bouchard over to Lapointe. Puck blocked by Cashman. Cashman with Middleton trying to streak ahead. Middleton can't collect it. Bouchard with it. His pass blocked by Rick Smith. Fed up the boards. Lapointe for the Canadiens. The pass center ice. Doak blocks it. Flipped it into the Canadian bench. Peter McNabb had 2 shots in the first period, 4 in the second. That's a total of 6, which was half the total of shots on net that the Montreal had. He had his chances, but here he makes it good.
Nice little drive, and a good thing McNabb was a left-hand shot, because if he'd been right-handed, he might have had a problem, because his body was behind the net when he put it into that top corner. A big play by Mike Milbury. You can't talk enough about how he burst through the center to set up the pressure on the Canadiens.
Cheevers handling it again, clears it around the boards. Marcotte pinched in. Shepard over to help out. Flips it out of the zone. Robinson there to Lafleur. Fed in on the boards. Cheevers has to block it and play it. hangs on dangerously. Almost broken up, but gets it over to Park. Park checked out of the play. Marcotte back to help out to Schmatz. Schmatz breaking. And Marcotte had cut offside. Schmatz didn't see him as he was maneuvering at center ice. At Live from Boston Garden, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals. Boston goals by Doak and Middleton in the first period. Scoreless second period. McNabb here in the third. His 7th series goal from Milbury at 2:54. Milbury with Lafleur after him. Check. Marcotte gets it to Shepard. Shepard with Schmatz. Schmatz has to chase the pass, gets the shot away. It's off Robinson. He takes a hard hit from Robinson as the puck deflects into the stands in back of Dryden.
Well, when Bobby Schmatz gets that puck out in front of him with that curve on his stick, it's going to be high because it's got to take off, and he moved that puck too far in front. He really, when he shoots his best, he's got to keep the puck back of that front foot so that the leverage is down. The puck will come up very quickly once he turns that stick and opens the face.
Lemaire shot Lafleur against Shepard, Schmatz, and Marcotte. Marcotte breaks it up and clears. Robinson starts right back to Lafleur. Lafleur check, hauled down by Milbury. Down goes Lafleur. No call by Van Hellemond. And the puck is out to Schmatz from Park. Coming up on Robinson with Marcotte far left. Into Marcotte. Broken up by Savard. But Marcotte gets it again. Rolls it in the corner. And Lemaire with it. Bruins a close call on a penalty there a moment ago. Here's a clear out. Stopped by Milbury to Park. In for Schmatz. Can't move with it. Robinson breaks. A pass into the corner. Marcotte covering Lafleur. Gives him a hit as the pass is knocked out by Schmatz. Marcotte moved right on him and rattled Guy Lafleur. Savard now to Robinson. A tough man to hit. He spins away. Gets it to Gainey. Gainey feeds in. Cheevers covers up. And Rondeau had no chance. A whistle by Van Hellemond. 14:20 left. Third period. Boston 3. Montreal nothing.
Nobody in the National Hockey League, Fred, uses the body any more effectively, any better than Don Marcotte. He had Lafleur, who was a very quick, elusive skater. He tucked the right shoulder in just to key him into the play, stops him right there, then the leverage with the shoulder, and he bodied him into the boards. A good, solid check, a clean play, and that's the kind of play that sometimes slows down the big skaters.
McNabb discussing the situation with O'Reilly. McNabb moves O'Reilly as Chartrand is at right wing, Mondu center, and Gainey left wing. Engblom and Lapointe. The draw, McNabb kicks it to Doak. And the Bruins win the faceoff. O'Reilly falls down center ice. McNabb checks, goes to Lapointe, now to Engblom. To Gainey, broken up by Doak. Back to McNabb, over the line for O'Reilly. O'Reilly bearing in. Didn't get the shot off. And Mondu breaks it out with Lapointe and Gainey. Lapointe, wide, centers it. Cheevers knocks it away. Mondu trying to keep it in, does with Gainey. Gainey hit by Doak. Can't center it as McNabb got back. Now Mondu with it on the other side. Stops, gets it to Lapointe. Pass in front, knocked away. Over on the boards, Jonathan there. Gets it out to McNabb, up the middle, trying to break, over the line. Can't set up the play with Jonathan. And the Canadiens clear it out as the Bruins change. Don Cherry using just 4 defensemen tonight. Bruins lead 3-0. Park trying to get away from Lafleur, up to Middleton, he's checked. Middleton comes out with it though, to Cashman, over the line with Rattel, and Middleton moving for a shot, save Dryden. And Rick Middleton has done some kind of a job getting that puck out of the corners. And with the score, Boston 3, Canadiens nothing. Bruins Stanley Cup hockey continues after this message. Well, Rick Middleton is out there, and Guy Lafleur for the Canadiens. The draw to Park, a rolling puck, a shot, save Dryden. In the corner, Middleton battling for it. To Rattel, they're checked. Puck cleared away to the Boston line. Park back for it. To Marcotte, who's out now, covering Lafleur. Savard breaks it up. To Lafleur, he's stopped by Middleton. Robinson trying to move it in. Lafleur knocked down on the play. Robinson gallops over the line, but not the puck. And Rattel right back to Middleton. Middleton fires in, a save by Dryden on the long shot. Savard trying to come out. Now for Lupien. And Robinson, he's carried the puck a lot tonight. Robinson trying to come out. Away to Lupien, Gilles Lupien. A flip in wide of Cheevers. Back first, Milbury. Checked there by Uhl. Puck jammed up. Face-off called in the Boston end. 12-17 left in the third period. Boston leads 3-0. Goals by Doak and Middleton.
Here's the drive by Park. Watch the right skate here of Dryden, who moved a little slow on that. I think it hit the goalpost. It got by him on the drive. Here's the play again. Hit the goalpost on the outside edge. Watch the play right here. A wicked slap shot by Park. Caught Dryden napping for probably the first time tonight. He did not move quick enough on it. It slipped by his right skate, but fortunately for Dryden and unfortunately for the Bruins, it hit the goalpost.
Well, we've got Lafleur at center. Robinson is up at left wing with Uhl at right wing. And Lafleur has played very little center in his career. But he's there now with Lapointe and Engblom, and Robinson trying to move it in front. It's knocked away. Rick Smith there. Can't clear. Engblom, though, hit. Puck worked out. Now back. Stopped by Doak. Quick clear out. Robinson just lined up, apparently at left. No, he's at left wing. Here he is with it. He played a lot of hockey. Trying to go in. Barrels in. Over the line. Checked by Rick Smith. And back to get it. Ooh, a centering pass. Lafleur save. Cheevers. Puck. Knocked away by the Bruins. It was right at the crease. And out comes Cashman. Lafleur is back. Cashman trying to move on him. Gets it over the line. Greg Shepard, the big play. The pass to Schmatz. The shot missed the net. As Schmatz came right back. Greg Shepard knocked it away. It was right at the crease. Out comes Engblom now. Engblom carries over the line. Clears it in. Cheevers out again. Moves it around. Cashman there. And Milbury to Shepard. To Schmatz. Schmatz over the line. Blocked. Gets it to Shepard. Shepard in the corner. Wrapped up by Lupien. Shepard backs off. Fights for it. Jams it up. Gets the whistle. And gets the face-off. And the Canadiens came as close as could be. Right at the crease. The puck was no more than an inch or two away when Shepard knocked it out.
Well, the Canadiens hit the goalpost twice in the first period, but they haven't come as close as this. Watch the stick of Shepard right there. He reaches across as a Canadian. Tried to snap that one into the open net. I don't know who it was, but watch Shepard. Guy Lapointe, his stick. Now watch Shepard coming from nowhere. He just managed to dive at that puck. As Fred related, Shepard's stick moved across and just got the edge on Guy Lapointe's stick. Here it is again. Cheevers out of his net trying to block it. Watch the stick of Shepard. Guy Lapointe starting to reach, and there's Shepard's stick throwing it into the corner. A dangerous play and close for the Canadiens.
Pass deflects. Park shot in. Save Dryden as the steam was taken out of the shot, and Lupien winds up for Montreal. Out for Lambert. They played very little, and Park breaks up Lambert. O'Reilly over to jam it up, and the play was offside. 10:47 left in the third period. Boston on goals by Doak and Middleton in the first period. McNabb in the third. A 3-0 Bruins lead. McNabb, Jonathan O'Reilly the line with Park and Milbury. Risebrough, Cornway, Lambert with Savard and Lupien. Jonathan harasses Savard. He spins away with the puck but loses on the pass to Park. At center ice, Cornway bats it in. Cheevers blocking it for Park. Quick clear out of the zone by Brad Park. Lupien trying to move. Tapped in for Lambert, broken up by Milbury. Milbury around the dasher and out of the zone. Jonathan stopped by Savard to Cornway. Broken up by McNabb. Fed in. Jonathan and Lupien to the corner. Good hit by Jonathan. McNabb gets it. O'Reilly tipped, and it goes wide as McNabb set him up in front. And out comes Risebrough. McNabb hustles back. Risebrough in deep. Pass blocked. Goes to the corner. Cornway hit, and O'Reilly gets it. To McNabb. And he is smashed to the ice by Risebrough. McNabb was. Lupien back to get it. Takes a hit from O'Reilly. And with it, Rick Smith. Over the line to McNabb. Bearing in. Shot. Save Dryden on McNabb, who's had a hatful on Dryden tonight. 9:40 left. As O'Reilly and Lupien may go at it. They've had earlier fights. And now they're separated with the score. Boston 3 and Montreal nothing. You're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup playoff.
Hockey at its exciting best as we look at the two coaches. Scotty Bowman on the left, Don Cherry on the right. As we have had some tremendous action, Fred. 9:40 left to play, third period, 3-0 Boston.
Marcotte and Lafleur are out there matching again. Rattel on the faceoff, knocked down. Moves it to the corner, though. Lapointe around the boards. Doak moves in, blocks it, keeps it in, fires, and it's blocked by Dryden and cleared away by Lafleur, but Schmatz intercepts and flips it right back in wide of Dryden. 9:25 left, third period. Lafleur, the Boston line, Rattel, Marcotte left wing, Schmatz right wing. Lapointe breaks it out to Lemaire. Lemaire over the line. The shot blocked by Schmatz. Deflects into the first balcony, and the faceoff called inside the Boston line.
Guy Lafleur is now playing on the right wing side, and I think one of the reasons that Scotty moved him to center for a shift or two to try to get him away from Marcotte number one, but also to give Guy Lafleur maybe a little more ice time. He feels that although Lafleur has played a lot, that he can play a lot, and sometimes he's the spark that can make Canadiens go. He's now playing at right wing. Marcotte's covering him on the left side.
Puck goes outside the line. Robinson with it. Pass up, stopped by Park. Shifting. Beautiful stick handling. Gets it off now to Marcotte. Marcotte over the line. Drives it in on Dryden for a save. Robinson trying to move it out. Schmatz checks. And Shepard. Shepard flips it up. And Lapointe trying to drive it out. Shutt gets it. Shutt breaking. Checked by Shepard. He's hit by Park. Over in the corner, Milbury. Around the boards. And just out. Lapointe with it. To Robinson. Can do so many things. Robinson took his time. Then the play was offside. A mile. Shutt was way offside as they move it in. Around the boards, and the Canadiens press. Lafleur keeps it in. The pass breaks away. Marcotte trying to get it out. Shepard. Lead pass too far ahead of Schmatz, who would have had a breakaway. Lafleur checks him, and Robinson comes back. A pass bounces to Milbury. Quick clear out to Marcotte. And fed right back in the Canadian end. 8 minutes left, third period, 3-0 Boston. Gainey winds up. Up the left side, hit by Doak. Moves to the corner, hit by Middleton. Cheevers to Cashman. Cashman turns the net. Carries it out. He is flying. Gets by Jarvis. Over the line. Swept it in deep. What a rush by Cashman. And back for it, Engblom now. The Bruins matching the Canadiens stride by stride. Middleton checks Engblom. And he has to wind up again. And a long pass is missed by Gainey. Back for it, Doak. Forechecking Jarvis. Doak around the dasher. The Bruins out with it. Jonathan breaks 2-on-1 with McNabb, and the pass is too far ahead of McNabb. He gets it in the corner, though, centers it, blocked. Centers it again, blocked. Battles for it behind the net. Now in the corner, O'Reilly over there with Gainey. They battle, heavy hitting there. Down they both go. Jonathan trying to jam it up. It's knocked out. Rick Smith with it. Flips it back in. 7 minutes left, third period, 3-0 Boston. Savard trying to come out, hit by Jonathan. And the puck over on the boards to Gainey. O'Reilly after him. O'Reilly checks him. Gainey snaps it in. Cheevers passes to Jonathan. Up for McNabb. Doesn't work. Park intercepts. Breaks with McNabb. Goes for the shot. Save Dryden. Oh, he made it look easy. It was a steamer. And the puck fed out. Goes to Riseborough. Now to Cournoyer. And that play is offside. And the fans who started with a standing ovation for the Bruins, give them a round of applause with the score. Boston 3, Montreal nothing. The 1978 Stanley Cup playoffs continue in just a moment.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens, who are the masters at freewheeling, are at this moment being freewheeled by the Boston Bruins.
Cashman a shot out the face-off, and Dryden makes the save. As that was headed for the short side. Cashman at left wing, Middleton at right wing. The puck up to Riseborough. Can't handle it. Checked by Milbury. Rattel gets it. A shift. Over the line to Cashman. In for Rattel. He can't handle it. Now he does in the corner. But back to get it, Lapointe. Lapointe leads the rush. Looking for an opening. Middleton is playing deep. Goes back, gets it. Flips it around the dasher. And Cashman works it out carefully. No icing, they say. Well, it didn't reach that goal line anyway. Robinson, Lapointe, up the middle. A pass bounces in, but behind the defense, Cashman there as the Bruins forwards check back vigorously. Cashman checked on the boards, on the puck park, can't move it out. And now it bounces to center ice. Riseborough to Lambert, fed back in. And back for it, Brad Park. 5:29 left, third period. Up to Marcotte. Cleared to the Canadian line. And now taking it is Réjean Houle. Marcotte watching Lafleur. And Houle whips it away, gets it over the line, and Lafleur was in over the line. He was standing there, but he didn't realize both feet were over the blue line, and the play is offside.
5:14 left to play in the third period. Boston out in front 3-0. They scored 2 goals in the first period. Doak at 59 seconds, Middleton at 5:11. The next goal came at 2:54 of this, the third period, by Peter McNabb from Millbury.
Shepard gets the draw, and Rick Smith fires it in. Lupien there. Shepard checking. It goes to center ice, and Gary Doak, who scored the first goal, flips it up. Ooh, back to get it. Pass up, stopped by Rick Smith. And not cleared out. Batted by the Canadiens. Into the seats, though, on the face-off called outside the Boston blue line. 4:57 left. Well, this game is sent to major U.S. cities. Dan Kelly is doing that play-by-play, and he's also doing it for CBC. I did not mean to infer that we are telecasting to the rest of the country, but the picture and his voice is going. And a great, great hockey game, as this is carried in New York and other cities. Canadiens miss on a pass for Lafleur, and Marcotte clears it out. Schmatz intercepts on Savard over the line, moving, trying to cut in front. Knocked down, can't center it. The Canadiens clear, could be icing. It is.
Well, Fred, we're not, our audio is not going across Canada, but I'll tell you, the expert cameramen from TV-38 are supplying the pictures, and I'm going to tell you something, we've had some great shots tonight.
Faceoff is to the left of Dryden, 4:35 left, third period. Goals by Doak, by Rick Middleton in the first period, and Peter McNabb in the third. The Bruins outshot Montreal over 2 periods, 23-12. Peter McNabb has had at least a dozen shots on net, scored a key goal, gets it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly a shot, Dryden the save. Around the boards, shot draw, trying to move it out. Millbury keeps it in. Behind the net, O'Reilly knocked it down. McNabb trying to stuff it in. They score, and there's no goal. Wait a minute. Let's see what Van Hellemond has eaten. I believe McNabb gloved it. Well, it is a goal. I don't know what he's shaking his head no for.
Well, I don't know. I thought he should have called it no goal, Fred. O'Reilly batted the puck in front. McNabb picked it up. Now here's the play coming up. Let's see what happens. It looked to me like O'Reilly batted it to him. McNabb stick. Now watch O'Reilly bat the puck into center. McNabb stick. That should be a whistle. Should be no goal, but he's allowing it as O'Reilly will get the goal. It's 4-0 Boston. The Canadiens are not discussing it, but from the replay, as O'Reilly tucks it home, and McNabb will get an assist on the play. It comes at 15:39.
Millbury and McNabb got the assist. It's 4-0, and don't want to take anything away from the Bruins, but Van Hellemond was shaking his head negatively on the play instead of affirmatively. The Bruins with the goal, and a 4-0 lead with less than 4 minutes left. O'Reilly offside as it's cleared in. Live from Boston Garden, you're watching the 1978 Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, not to take anything away from the Boston Bruins, O'Reilly batted the puck with his glove, I believe, in front. Now, if a Bruin touches it from that point, there should be a whistle right then and there. The faceoff should be outside. McNabb's stick reached the puck before the Canadian defenseman. Now, it looked like O'Reilly batted it with his glove. We'll have to wait for the after the game to find out exactly what O'Reilly's version of it was. Now, if he intentionally batted it in front, which it looked like he did to me, it should be no goal, but the funny part about it, Fred, Andy Van Hellemond shook his head no. But he was indicating, I guess, to the Canadiens, he should have done the reverse. He should have indicated yes, that it was a good goal, but he did not. But it's now 4-0 Boston. The goal comes at 15:39, Milbury and McNabb assisting.
So the only question now is the shutout, and that's what the Bruins want for Gerry Cheevers in this one, as the pass at center ice is taken by O'Reilly. A lot of players have lost a lot of weight in this one. And McNabb snaps it in now as McNabb, Jonathan O'Reilly line with 3:25 left, a 4-0 lead. That goal is O'Reilly from Milbury and McNabb at 15:39. Puck cleared by the Canadiens. It will be icing again. As the Bruins have carried the play in the third period. With 3:13 left, the face-off to the left of Ken Dryden. Terry O'Reilly from McNabb and Milbury, and there is O'Reilly, his 5th series goal overall, as the Bruins have checked Montreal as solidly as the Canadiens, I'm sure, will say they've ever been checked this year. Guy Lafleur had 2 shots going into the third period. I don't think he has any in the third. Marcotte is watching him as Robinson carries. Pass broken up by Doak. Intended for Lafleur, cleared quickly by Shepard. And with it, Schutt. Schutt drives it in. Weird bounce. Lafleur after it. Checked by Schmatz. Lafleur moving over to left wing, apparently. Robinson kicks it in. Broken up. Shepard back. He's got Savard to beat. Robinson coming on him, and he fires one wide of Ken Dryden. 4-0 the Bruins lead. Big goals in the third period by Peter McNabb, who's had somewhere around a dozen shots on Montreal. Schutt. Center ice. Check. Broken up by Milbury. Doak, rather. And the puck now batted at center ice. As the fans have enjoyed this one, stay with us following the game. Bruins hockey continues with Tom Larson with highlights of tonight's game. First period, Doak from Rattel, then Middleton from Rattel, a 2-0 lead. Bruins outshot Montreal 13-5 in the second period. A scoreless second period. Then McNabb from Milbury at 2:54. And O'Reilly from Milbury and McNabb at 15:39. Riseborough against Rattel. 2:25. The crowd yelling defense. As Riseborough flicked it in. Could be icing. No, they say. Cashman back, trying to come out. He's checked by Chartrand. Rattel battles. Down goes Engblom. On the boards, a battle. The play is tied up. Talked to Harry Sinden after the game the other night, and he was confident the Bruins could beat the Montreal Canadiens off the way they played in overtime, their style. And he said that after game 2, the Bruins down 2 games. Riseborough trying to move, broken up by Milbury. Milbury on the attack with Rattel and Middleton. Off to Middleton. A pass in front, blocked. Rattel goes over to the corner, battles for it. Lupien trying to move it out. Park takes a hit, keeps it in to Rattel. Rattel trying to get away from Engblom. And back for it, Gainey. Gainey winding up, 1:48 left. A shot in on Cheevers, took a weird hop. And down he went on a deflected shot. Took a weird deflection, rather. And the Bruins get it and work it out. Cashman. Cheevers is okay, just seemed stunned by the redirection of that shot by Gainey. 1:30 left. Puck to the Boston zone with it, Rick Smith. Up to Cashman. Cashman broken up. Lambert loses to McNabb, and Doak has it. 1:14 left. The fans cheering. Rick Smith clears it in. Listen to the applause with 1:05 left. Standing ovation. O'Reilly back ahead of Mondu with Doak. Doak clears it out. Will be icing. Jonathan trying to prevent it against Lupien. Lupien got there first. 48 seconds left, and still the fans cheer here.
Well, Fred, I don't remember a standing ovation for the Boston Bruins with a minute left to play in this hockey game.
Face-off is to the right of Cheevers. Montreal, they've got Mondeau, Lambert, and Cournoyer with Bouchard and Robinson. Cheevers talking to Brad Park, and there you see the fans. And what a great game for hockey. I don't care who you root for.
I'll tell you, Fred, this has been a sensational hockey game from start to finish.
Draw won by Shepard for Park. Marcotte can't clear it out. Park knocks it away from Mondeau. They go to the boards. Back for it, Bouchard. He's checked. Shepard there. Park clears it. No icing. 30 seconds left. Marcotte down on Robinson. Checking him all the way. Robinson look out for Shepard. Ooh, he had to. And Marcotte with it. Moving in. Offside, they say, as he would have sent Shepard in alone on the play. 24 seconds left. To see little Greg Shepard ready to line up Robinson was a sight. Robinson had to contend with Marcotte.
Well, I think Shepard realized that he was having a problem with Marcotte, so he had a slight advantage, but that's like a steamroller. Trying to stop one, and when it's in motion, that Robinson's a big guy. As we have 24 seconds left on the clock, third period, Boston out in front 4-0. Goals by Doak, Middleton, McNabb, and O'Reilly.
And the Doak goal came after 59 seconds of play. Don Cherry has gone with the 4 defensemen tonight. And the fans throwing something on the ice. Paper cups, which only delays things. 24 seconds left in the game. Boston leads 4-0. Rick Smith clears it in. 20 seconds left. The Canadiens wheel it out. Rick Smith blocked it, though. For Schmatz, he's onside. And back in the Montreal in on Dryden. 9 seconds left. You see the time there. Engblom clears it out. Mondeau, stop. And that's it. The Bruins surround Gerry Cheevers, who pitched a shutout against the Montreal Canadiens here at Boston Garden. Last time the Canadiens were shut out was May 13th, 1971 by Chicago 2-0. A superb performance by the Boston Bruins as they beat Montreal 4-0, and the fans have given more standing ovations to the Bruins tonight than they've received in a combination of seasons as they win it in every department, 4-0. Once again, the final score of tonight's game, Boston 4, Montreal 0. Boston Bruins Stanley Cup hockey continues in just a moment.